Well, you know, hey, I guess they want to make an example out of you. You know, and I'm sure there was a lot of misinformed people out there screaming, "What kind of mother are you?" and things like that, right?
Actually, no. There were a lot of people that were very very against the situation, that were trying to get them to back off, and I think that just made things worse for me eventually with courts and so forth, because there were DARE meetings, there were PTA meetings that happened because of that. When my kids went to school the next day, every single classroom talked about the situation. And, you know, if anything, it got people talking about it at the time, and that's a good thing. You know, whether it was right or wrong, at least it got people talking about it.
Right.
And the interesting thing that came out of the conversation, though, now that I'm somewhat, you know, I'm a regular user, I mean, I have to use it all day, basically, so I don't have to fall back on the really heavy pain stuff.
Right.
And I told my doctor, I said, when I went to see him, I said, does marijuana make you smarter? And he kind of laughed, and he's like, well, you mean IQ-wise? No, not really. Why? Why is it that you're questioning that? I said, well, because I've never had the ability that I do now to analyze and understand extremely complicated subjects like nuclear physics. And he told me that basically that's because marijuana helps tap into very creative thinking in your brain, and allows you to not become distracted, become more focused, and see more kinds of big picture stuff.
That could, and do you feel that happens when you're under the immediate influence of it, or after, or just in general?
Just in general, but again, like I pretty much smoke all day. Only very, very small amounts, though, and that has been really the key. And that's not something that they really like teach you when you get your card or when you go to a shop or you get it from your caregiver. You know, they want to sell more of it, unfortunately, and so you can kind of like, you know, overdo it. And if I use too much of it, well then, yeah, it makes me feel lazy and unmotivated and kind of clouds my thinking. But to use very small amounts evenly throughout the day, that helps keep my tolerance down.
Right.
So I can stretch out, because it builds up pretty quickly where you need to use more and more to get the same effect.
Yeah, tell me
so
about
whenever I can go without it, I do, and your tolerance very quickly goes back to normal. I think the longest I've been able to go is like 3 days without it. And then when I did use it again, it was like I've never even smoked it before. It had such an effect.
Stoned out of your mind.
Because the stuff is expensive, and you need to, you know, stretch it out. And I definitely have seen, and would tell anybody that is going to use it, of course, do it legally. The biggest side effect to marijuana use is getting caught.
Right.
No one's ever overdosed on it, ever. It's impossible to overdose on it.
No, no one has ever overdosed on it. And use it legally, kids. And it does make you smarter.
Wherever, in whatever state you're in, if you have a medical condition that would possibly qualify you, I think it'd be a really good thing to look into right now. Yeah. We need every tool that we can get to protect us from this stuff.
Now, before, you know, look, I'm trying to interject a little bit of satirical comedy in here, just because it's my way of dealing with the horrific things we talk about. If I didn't do that, I would fly into rage-filled rants, which I enjoy on occasion. I'm not going to lie. But you know, in all seriousness, you know, what you're bringing up is a great way to mitigate the effects of radiation and cancer. You know, so listen, people, all the crap we were taught in school. I remember when I first learned about what pot was, and then I went and I was a little kid. You know, they came in, I think it was like 6th grade, and the cop came in with a briefcase with joints in it and stuff, and said that, oh, if you know, this is what it looks like, this is what it smells like. If you do this, you know, you're going to start doing, you know, this, and he's like pointing to heroin, and then you're going to do this, and you know, all this stuff. And I was like blown away. I was like, oh my God, I've seen those joints at my house, you know. And so I went home to my stepfather, and I was all upset, and I yelled at him. I remember I was a little kid, I yelled, and I go, I'm not listening to anybody who smokes pot. And I ran off into the woods.
The reefer madness.
Yeah, so you know, but then not soon after, one of my good friends came over and he said, hey, you know, what's that right? You know what that is right there? And I was like, yes, I do. And he was like, come on, let's take this. We went in the woods, and show was over after that. So, you know, all the things we learned about it. And I know people now, my mother thinks that if you smoke pot, then she would rather have you taking, you know, Paxil and every other kind of pharmaceutical, anything legal, getting drunk, falling down, all that stuff. Because she thinks that if you smoke pot, you're insane. You're insane. You know? And there's people like that out there. And so I just wanted to make the point that, you know, what you're saying is very important and relevant. And, you know, I apologize for making jokes about it, but I try to keep to it. I don't want everybody to get so depressed, man, you know?
Definitely, people should look into it. I mean, if you don't believe it, just do a couple hours of reading online and look at these studies. You know, don't look at people's opinions. Look at testimonials and look at all the children that have brain cancer right now that are using it because otherwise they can't eat because they're so sick from chemo and radiation. When they start incorporating medical marijuana into kids' diet, it actually boosts their energy. It makes them feel better. It allows them to keep food down.
So how did you know? You mentioned that. I forgot to ask you about that. When you said, you know, as far as pot being good for kids, how, you know, administered how? Are they you know, smoking fatties? Are they eating food? Okay, all right.
Well, you can turn it into a butter, and then you can bake or cook with the butter or put the butter on toast.
Yeah, I've done that.
And that's how the children are treated with it.
Yeah, it tastes like weed butter. I've made it before. It still tastes, it's like buttery pot. That's what it tastes like. It's not too bad, though. That's not too bad. It's worth it, I'll tell you that. Purely for medicinal purposes, people, purely. And for relaxing and taking the stress off, you know, out of the New World Order agenda.
Oh, it definitely helps with those things, too, and then depression and anxiety and everything. I mean, there's 126 conditions that medical marijuana has been proven to help alleviate symptoms. And some of that are from our studies and from the studies in Europe. But, I mean, that's a boatload of stuff that it helps.
You know, I've been a personal trainer for over 20 years. Once I got to know my clients well enough, I would always recommend that they smoke pot. And I would recommend they smoke pot so they would sleep better, de-stress, if they had digestive issues that it wasn't allowing them to eat properly, you know, all of these things. And you know, I've been using it since I'm 15 years old on practically a daily basis if I could help it. I don't feel as though it's made me stupid, slow. I will admit to the fact that as soon as I get done smoking it, if I've smoked a generous amount, I may not be quite on target and my coordination won't be there. But those are things that last very short periods of time. The overall long-term effects, I really can't see any. And even lung capacity. I mean, I played football for 13 years, and I never needed to rest because of lung capacity. You know what I mean? I've never found that to be an issue from smoking. Smoking pot. I don't smoke cigarettes. Never have. But, so I'm just laying my personal testimony to smoking pot out there for everybody. I haven't found anything wrong with it, and I'm very in tune with health and fitness and wellness, and I think it goes hand in hand with those things, personally.
Yeah, and there's tons of research to back that up, too.
Right.
And you can look at it online now while we still have the internet.
Yeah, well, we still do. Somebody brought up a great point in chat. Tyler brings up a great point. He says he vaporizes. That's great. I don't know if you ever tried that, but
yeah, you know, that's better than smoking it, for sure. And that's what all the doctors recommend, too, either ingestion through food or vaporizing, because not only are you not getting the smoke and the tar and so forth,
right,
but when you smoke cannabis, you're only getting about 20% of the beneficial part
right.
of it, and when you vaporize, it's something like 80%.
Yeah, and it wipes out. It takes like something like 90-something% of all the impurities, and actually enhances the like you just said, enhances the THC content. The only thing, it's a little bit different of a buzz. So if you've been smoking it for your entire life, you know, you're really used to the whole head thing. But when you vape it, it's a little bit different. You know, just as potent. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. I like vaping it too. I just usually don't do it because I'm too impatient.
Yeah, and it's a pain to go and turn it on and let it heat up, and you know, mine has a tube connected to it. You put the medicine in there, and then sometimes, you know, if you only are hitting it once, then it might get knocked over and the stuff spills out. I would rather have one of those portable ones. They're about the size of a cigarette pack.
Right.
And you only put a very tiny amount in there. But it's not burning it, it's just heating it to the right temperature so that you can extract the good part of it.
Yeah. You know, you're motivating me to whip out my vaporizer this evening. I just might do it. It's been a while. I have to knock the dust off it. But, all right, Christine, we're going to wind this thing up. Do you have anything else you want to add about anything, radiation, you know, weed, anything?
No, just if you could like drop in a link for my YouTube channel. I've put forecasts up every couple of days to show where the highest potential fallout areas are based on what the jet stream is doing, what's going on over at the plant as far as releases, and where the heaviest rainfall is occurring, and from the readings that I see being posted on the different forums from independent people. So it's just to give you an idea of what days might be better to stay inside.
Okay.
So you're exposed to less fallout.
Yeah, I'm going to throw your link up now. I don't know if somebody's already done it because I can't see the chat room. Oh, no, stop doing that. No, not that. Hold on a second here.
Thanks for the opportunity to come on here and talk about this.
Yeah, of course. You know,
it definitely needs to be shared, you know, far and wide and quickly, because we've lost a lot of time already.
You know, listen, you know, I broadcast Monday and Thursday nights at 6. If you ever want to pop on, you know, just get a hold of me. You know how to do it, and you're more than welcome. You know, I don't do this show to have you know, to be the guy with the big news story or you know, any stupid thing like that. This is all about, I think we're all working together, and whoever has the ability to get the information out there, let's support them. Let's do that. We all need to share information and get it out there, you know. So check her out on YouTube. The link is up in the chat room. I'll also post up her YouTube link on the front Facebook page, which will go to the website. Check her out on Facebook, Rad Chick on Facebook. And is there any other sites we have going on, Christina?
No, Any News is a really good site to get really up-to-date info also.
Oh, okay. NE
and
News.
It's spelled E-N-E News.
Okay. Oh, and you're also going to be on with my buddy JJ this Sunday, right, on Against the Wall in Orion?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. You'll have fun. JJ's a great guy. We've had a couple adventures together already. You'll like him. He does a very good show. So all you guys, check out JJ's show Sunday at 3. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Orion Talk Radio Network with Christina Consolo, a.k.a. Rad Chick. And what's your YouTube name?
iChicaX4.
Yeah, I just wanted to make you say it. All right, everybody. Christina, thank you for coming on again. Anytime you want to pop on, just let me know. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to leave you with these normal words of wisdom. See you all Monday.
Your choice is simple. Join us and live in peace, or pursue your present course and face obliteration. We shall be waiting for your answer. The decision rests with you.